Hello, my little junksters. Welcome to Vern's Junk Closet. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get a notice of when I upload new videos. So today we will be talking about allowance for children, and I'll be going over some ages and categories and what they should receive as an allowance. So first I want to say today's a good day to have a great day. Let's make today beautiful. Rejoice and be glad it is. Remember, no one is perfect here at this channel. Practice makes you better, and never stop dreaming. Again, it's Vern's Junk Closet. Thank you, and please subscribe. So first I want to go, if you have children under the age of 18 or from the ages of 4 years old to 18, do you give them an allowance? Now, a little bit about me. When I was young, I didn't get an allowance as a kid. It was just do your chores, as I say do, go to school, and they purchase you what you needed. You know, your normal food, clothes, getting your hair done, going to activities. It wasn't necessarily an allowance. And we had kitchen patrol, which was kitchen duties. So we would have a chart, and then maybe 1 week I would do something, 1 week my brother would do something, 1 week my sister would do something, and so on. But today, in this era, the kids, when they get an allowance, their video games are expensive. So what I'm going to do is just go over some things, and I'm reading off of a little note here that I made so I won't forget anything. First, I said allowance for kids, and do you give them cash? So I think a 4-year-old should not get cash. That's just my opinion. What I would say is offer them treats, offer them like Lunchables, maybe lollipops, ice cream, Pop-Tarts, potato chips, cookies, something small, because a 4-year-old really can't do much with money. Then my next age group would be 5 to 8 years old. And what I would say with that would be maybe $5 to $10, depending on how mature they are, plus chores. So maybe you would say, okay, if you took out the dog or washed the dishes or something of that nature. I'm going to go over more things that we can offer to them. The other thing is you should instill in them money habits, but don't force it on them. If they're not ready for an allowance, I mean, just don't give it to them. But if they're mature, then offer it to them. 9 to 11 years old, I would say between $10 and $15. The ages of 12 to 14, I would say between $15 to $20. 15 to 16, I would say between $20 or $30, and 17 to 18, between $30 to $50. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because you figure if you're giving them that per week, and if they're 17 to 18, that's $200 in a month. I think that's actually a little bit more than enough. But you got to remember, if you're giving them that $200, are they purchasing their personal supplies? Are they buying their jewelry, their clothes, or are you still purchasing that for them? So you have to gauge it to what you feel comfortable is for your child. Also, it depends on how intelligent the child is. Now, if the kid is 8 years old and he's taking college courses, of course, you're going to give him more because he's smart. But I'm just saying, you know, you have to take into consideration what works for you and your child. The next thing is some people do $1 per age. So for an example, if they're 5 years old, you give them 5. If they're 6, you would give them 6. And 7, you would give them $7, and so on and so forth. If that works for you and your child, then that's good, you know. So I would say make a chart and make them earn it. Sit down with them, explain it to them why they're getting an allowance, what an allowance is about, what is it for. It's not free money. Yes, you're getting this money, but I expect you to do this, this, and this. So instead of, like I grew up, no, you're going to do it and not get any money for it. Nowadays, it's different. What you can say is, okay, if you wash the dishes, you get $1. That's up to you if you want to make a chart like that. The garbage is $2 or so forth and so on. Or you can just assign them similar chores. So say if you have 3 children, one is 5 years old. You might say, okay, if you feed the dog or the cat, you'll get $2 per time you do it. Or you can say, okay, I'm going to give you 6 chores to do. You're going to complete that task by the end of the week. If everything is done and to your satisfaction as a parent, then you can say, okay, here's $10. You make it what is convenient for you. The next thing I would say is you can make a list and you can say, wash the family vehicle. You can say, take out the garbage. You can say, kitchen duty, like I was saying that I had, and it was per week. Or you can say, wash the dishes, unload the dishwasher, maybe empty the dryer or put clothes in the washing machine. Wash the baseboards on the bottom of the windows. Maybe sweep the stairs, sweep the steps. Again, clean out the garbage can and take out the garbage. Maybe rake the yard, walk the dog, wash the cat, feed the animals, and so forth and so forth. So, you'll make it what's convenient for you. In my opinion, I do think children should get an allowance. No, it doesn't have to be an extreme amount. It depends. Again, if you're buying their video games and their games are $50 per piece, of course you're going to buy that as a parent. But if you give them, I'm going to say a 12 to 14-year-old, and you give them $20 for the week, so that's $80 a month per se. So you would say with that, you would purchase your deodorant, your socks, your underwear. You would say this is what they're going to purchase for themselves. And then you say everything else I'm going to take care of for you. I'll purchase your food. You have lights and gas. You have a roof over your head. So you have to make it worth their while and make it fun. Another thing you could do is if you have an older child, say 14, you could say, okay, if you read to the 4-year-old one book every night for bedtime, because maybe you're a parent and you work, or you're a single parent, or maybe you're a two-family parent, but just say if you get home a little late and the 4-year-old needs to be in the bed by 7 or 8 o'clock, you could say to the 14-year-old, okay, since you're home, if you read a book to them, put them in the bed, give them a bath, and feed them, at the end of the week, I'll give you $20 or $10, or you could do a bonus. It's up to you, or you could just do a treat and say, since you did this, you can go to the county fair. Here's $30. You have to make it fun for that child. Okay, so I'm just gonna flip the page because I have a little bit more. The next thing you should do is a chart. So on a chart, maybe you can put it by child's name. If you have several children. Now, if you have one child, I would say this may be a little difficult because you only have one. What can you compare it next to? So if you have several children or more than two, then I would say maybe make a chart, add their name. Again, read a book. And also, when you give them the allowance, I would say, parents, you need to sit down with that child and say, okay, here's your money. What would you like to do with it? Would you like to give something to charity? I think they should give, even if they give $1, buy those little shoes that they have in the grocery store and you write your name on it, like the St. Jude. Maybe you could say they could do a savings, maybe purchase them a piggy bank for like the 12-year-old and under, and say, okay, every week when you get your allowance, you need to put 10% into it. Or you could say they can do a newspaper delivery or pick up the newspaper off the porch. That's a little bit. You can say, here's $2 for doing that, and put it on the counter when you walk in the house. I would say also take them to an actual bank. Have them sit down with a representative there and maybe talk to them about, this is how you fill out a checkbook. This is how you fill out a deposit slip. This is how you fill out a withdrawal slip. Yes, it may be common sense to us because we're adults, but to a child, it's like jibber jabber, those little forms. Even I still get confused, like, wait a minute, what account am I putting this in? So if you sit down with them and explain it to them, show them how savings work. If you save, quote unquote, $5 per week out of your allowance at the end of the month for 4 weeks, we're saying, you would say, oh, y'all have $20. Then they'll say, wow, I really saved that. This is something I worked myself up to. This is something that I accomplished. However, if you don't sit down with them and go over money matters and how money relationships work, yeah, then they may just take it and splurge and spend it all. Or you could say, okay, here's $5. If they had that as their allowance for that week, just say you gave it to them on Thursday. Come Sunday, they don't have any money, but they want ice cream from the ice cream truck. Well, if you don't have any money and you spent it all, then you're not able to get the ice cream. I think you have to have rules, negotiations and explain it to them of exactly how money works. The other thing is use an ATM card, a debit card. Sometimes I think you have to be a certain age, so don't quote me on this. I think you have to be at least 10. If you go and they could say you can open up an account, you would, as the parent, would have to be the custodial on the account. You would have to be the primary, and then they would be the just the beneficiary. You know, they would be under you. But just say you give them the ATM card. Of course, they can't go to the bank without you, hopefully. But if, just say you take them with you and then they go to the ATM, show them how to use an actual debit card, what the numbers are on the card, what they're used for. Do not give out your information. Make sure you cover it when you're putting in your PIN. These are little things we take for granted, but it's still their credit, quote unquote, credit for them, that as they start to become older, they should be aware of that. Also, I would say take 20% of the money or a fixed amount and say, okay, we're going to take this. You can say $5 can go in a savings account. Even open them up a IRA at the bank. It's similar to a Roth if you have a job. Then you could say in your job you have the Roth 401k, but at the bank, and just say this would be your savings as you get older and you get ready to go to college. This would be your money for yourself, and you could use that for like room and board and books and things of that nature. If they make a mistake, it's okay. Sit down with them and show them, okay, so you had $20 for the month, you spent it all. Now this is what happens. You don't have no money. This is the same as in life. You have rent due. If you spend all your money and you can't pay your rent, you know there's a consequence behind it. You may get evicted, or you may lose your vehicle if you don't pay your car note. You know, you have to show them bills. Kids take this for granted. Light and gas. Yeah, they go in every room and cut on every light, and you have to go behind them and cut it off. You have to tell them why you're doing that. Okay, when you cut the light on, that runs the meter. That means when I get the bill at the end of the month, the bill is $200. If you would have cut that light off, it may have been a little bit less. Maybe it would have been $150. You have to talk to them and show them the way. If we as parents start while they're young, because I believe they're not showing them financial literacy in school, if we show them, it'll work for their betterment. Even if you have grandchildren, show them how to do this. Show them how it works. Like I said, you can start with a piggy bank and say, okay, every time you get your little allowance, this is what you're going to do. Also, just talk to them and let them know that at the end of their savings, again, we're going to take the beginning of the month. At the end of the month, they have $100. Just say, you can say, now what would you like to do with that $100? Do you want to keep it in there and continue to save? Would you like to take it all out and splurge and spend it? But remember, there's a consequence to that. Or would you like to take half of it, or a third of it, or a fifth of it, or whatever number you see fit? Just say we have $100. They take $20 and say, okay, $10 goes to a food pantry. $5 goes to a charity like the Cancer Society. $5 goes on their lunch. If you're like me and you have a lot of children, and you and your husband work, or you and your spouse works, or if you work and you have a very good job or making nice money, you have to pay for their lunch at school. The allowance can also be used for their money at school. Say, okay, you have your allowance for the week is $20. Maybe you should take 10 of those dollars and put it on your little lunch card. This way you can purchase lunch at school. Or just say they're out at the mall. They see a necklace or a chain or jewelry or a toy they would like to purchase. Do you have money in your piggy bank? You're not going to use all mommy's money or daddy's money. You have your own money. We have to sit down and talk to our children about financial literacy. Credit. Yes, cash is king, but without a credit card, there's a lot of things that they're not going to be able to purchase. You can also add them, if you're a parent and you have a good credit score, you can add them, I believe, don't quote me, I'm just going to say an average number of 13 years old. Add them onto your credit card, and if your credit is good, by the time they get 18, they will have a very good credit score. This way they can go out and purchase stuff. Also, for the teenagers, I'm going to say between 16 and 18, when they're getting ready to go to college, what's going to happen is a lot of these credit card companies are going to be sending them offers in the mail and say, hey, would you like a credit card? You're going to college. These kids are not thinking. What they're going to do is say yes. They're going to get the form, they're going to fill it out, and then what's going to happen is they're going to have a credit card. I'm just going to say $1,000. They're going to spend it all, and then they're not going to pay it. And guess what? Their credit is going to go down, or they'll get liens and judgments. They don't want that at that young age. So I would say if you teach them about credit now while they're young, as they become older and get ready to go to college, they'll be able to know how to use that credit card better. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this one more time. The allowance for children, I think when they're ready, at an age that a parent sees fit, do not force them to do it, and tell them about choices and consequences of savings. So just for me, and this is just a chart, you can use your own chart. At the age of 4, I believe they should not have cash. You should give them treats, Lunchables, lollipops, Pop-Tarts, ice cream, potato chips, cookies. Give them something that, a toy, something that they'll say, okay, I did a good job. I emptied the dishes out of the dishwasher and I'm getting something in return. So between the ages of 5 to 18, maybe you want to give them cash because they can use it for things in school. If they have not job fairs, if they have little fairs at school, I know when I was growing up, I'm probably dating myself. They had little book fairs in school when you can go to the book fair and just say the book fair was $3 per book. You can purchase it. They could use their allowance for that. They can use their allowance if they wanted a pet. I'm just going to say, for an example, a rabbit, and they had a rabbit of their own. You can say, okay, well, you're going to use your allowance and pay for your rabbit's food, your rabbit's treats, and things of that nature. 5 to 8 years old, you may want to give them $5 to $10. And this is where the chores come in. You will instill in them money habits and tell them the chores that you would like them to see, that you would like them to do. Between the ages of 9 years old and 11 years old, maybe you like to give them $10 to $15. The ages of 12 to 14-year-old, maybe $15 to $20. And also 15 to 16 years old, maybe you like to give them $20 to $30. And 17 to 18, $30 to $50. Now, this is on a weekly basis. If you think that's too much, use your own judgment. If you think it should be more, use your own judgment. Again, depends on how intelligent the child is, how much they're allowed to be. Just like we give them allowance or we give them money for if their teeth fall out when they're young and you want to give them $2 per tooth, let them know. You can either take this $2 and spend it all, or you can take it and put it in your bank and save it. Okay? Some people, like I said, do $1 per age. You do what you see fit. So if they're 4 years old, you may not want to give them money, but if they're 5 years old, you can give them $5, 6 years old, $6, and so forth. Make them earn it by washing the family vehicle, taking out the garbage, kitchen duty. We called it KP, and we had a little chart, and on it we would have, okay, this week you wash the dishes, unload the dishwasher, and you put them up. And then one other person would be clean the stove, take out the garbage, wash the windows, clean up the backyard. It's different things that you choose around the house. Another big thing, between the ages of 5, I'm going to say to 16, because 17 to 18-year-olds should know better. However, 5 to 16, if your room is not clean, you're not getting an allowance. If the closet is not clean, you're not getting an allowance. Make them clean the bathroom. They don't like that one probably, but think about it. Clean the toilet, clean the tub, clean the sink, clean the floor, sweep and mop. If we teach them now life skills as they become older, they will know how to do things better. I remember one time there was a young girl, she got an apartment. I don't remember how I met her, but I met her through something. She didn't know how to do anything. Well, how do you have an apartment? You don't know how to sweep a floor? You don't know how to wash a dish? You don't know how to pay bills. So you need to sit down with them. Also, what you should do is have them make a budget. A budget is an awesome thing for a child. Make a Excel spread worksheet. Write down just something that you as a parent do. I pay the light bill, I pay the gas bill, I pay the car note, I pay the home insurance, I pay the mortgage, and then write down the groceries. The kids, oh my gosh, at a certain age, I'm just gonna say between 9 and 18, they grow like weeds. They want to eat everything, especially if they play sports. So what you want to do is say, okay, when we make this chart, this is how mommy and daddy pays bills, and this is going to be your chart. This is what you're going to do with your allowance, similar to paying a bill. So if they're in sports, sometimes they have to pay for their shirt or their shorts or their uniform. Make them take it out of their allowance. That saves you as a parent way of keeping your money in your pocket, which they still probably going to want to spend it. They want to go to the movies with their friends, take it out of your allowance. What else I wanted to say? When you make the Excel spreadsheet, show them how you pay your bills. Just an average number. I have $1,000 per week out of my paycheck. Okay, out of my paycheck, this is what needs to be paid. Light bill, $100. Mortgage, $700. Car note, $200. Car insurance, $100. And show them how it goes down. And then at the end of the week, say, well, you see, this is how much I have left out of this $1,000. $200. I still have to purchase groceries. So are you going to spend your whole $200 on groceries, or are you going to try to break that down? You can say, okay, I'm going to do $100 for groceries, $30 for gas in my vehicle, then the $70 that you have left, maybe that would be yours. As we all know as parents, we don't always have a lot left over by the end of the month. Sometimes it's more month than money, which if we show them now how to handle savings and credit and money, hopefully they won't have to go through the same thing. We have all been in that position where we had more month than money. And here's the end of the month. I'm just going to say the 20th. We don't get a check until the 30th. That's 10 days. If you, a wife, a husband, a wife, and a spouse, and 2 children, how are you going to spread money for those 10 days if you only have $200? It's hard. So this is why we teach these children now, when they go to college, when they go out on their own, when you cut their wings to have them fly, their wings will work. So I think this is a good thing for children, and I think they should have an allowance because parents can show them how to save. Back to the chart. I think I missed a couple of things. Okay, I'll start over. I'll say wash the family vehicle, take out the garbage, clean up the bathroom, clean up the kitchen, sweep and mop the floors, empty the dryer or the washer, wash the baseboards, sweep the stairs, clean out their rooms, clean out the garbage cans, rake the leaves, any animals that you may have, they take care of, clean the front yard, wash the windows. Maybe they can help an elderly neighbor. Maybe they can go to the store for the elderly neighbor, and you can say, well, that was nice. Since you did that, here's $5 or something similar. Or give them the change from when you go to the grocery store and say, you know what, I have $2 left over. You've been a very good boy or girl this week. I'm going to give this to you. And you can say, okay, now being that I'm giving this extra to you, $2, you can spend that all and not save it. Or you can say, what would you like to do? You can ask them. Don't always assume they're going to save. Okay? So I just wanted to stop on for a little bit and just say I think children should have an allowance. You should make a chart, go over credit and finances with them, show them what happens if they do savings, show them what happens if they don't do savings. A little bit more, when you do the chart with the child's name, if you have teenagers, maybe they can babysit and get money from that. And if they get, just say, $50 from babysitting, you can say, what would you like to do? Do you want to put it in the bank, at an actual brick and mortar bank? Do you want to put it in your piggy bank? They also have little safes at Five Below, and they're $5. And I believe they come with a combination, or you can make your own combination. You can start it off like that. They can read a book to a child. They can give to charity. St. Jude's or Cancer Foundation or MS Foundation, Lupus Foundation, they can do something like that. In their piggy bank, they can start a little savings, and they can have a little chart where they can write down. They can do newspaper delivery. Um, Again, take them to the bank, show them how to fill out a actual deposit slip, show them actually how to write a check, how to use a debit card, how to use the ATM. Like I said, you can give them a fixed amount, or you can give them the actual either a dollar amount, or you can give them a percentage and say this is what you should save, or you can go by their age. And again, if they make a mistake, it's okay. Just show them, you need to learn the consequences of what savings is. It's a valuable lesson to them. I think that that would be perfect for all children. And when I say children, I mean from the ages of 4 years old to 18 years old. Um, and once they get older, show them how to pay rent, pay bills, anything. You should also, and this is very important, and I forgot to say this, show them how, if they do get credit, okay, so they're 17 years old, you're purchasing them a vehicle. Of course, you as a parent is going to purchase it. So let's just say the car is $13,000, okay, just on an average. If the vehicle is $13,000, you should sit down and show them how much their monthly payment will be, how much their interest rate is. The better their credit, the lower their interest rate. So if they have a very low credit score, their interest rate would be very, very high. Um, Also, when they have sales at store, teach them how to look in the newspaper. You as a parent, if you go grocery shopping on a normal and you use coupons, show them how to use coupons. Show them how to use discounts. All of this is savings, because this is the real world. Show them if they do get a summer job, example, or work at the county fair. If they get, I'm just going to say $500 for that month. You as a parent, I would say, tell them they need to save $400 of that, put in a savings account for themselves, and that $100 is for them. This way they can purchase what they like, what they need, what they want, and that $400 is in savings for them. I think that this would be great. If you have any questions or would like me to do more research on allowance for children, please let me know. My name is Vern. Please, please hit the subscribe bell, like this video, and thank you again for listening. Remember, never stop dreaming. No one here is perfect at this channel. If you have any questions, and I'll put some information down in the comment box below, please comment. Let me know if you like this video. So I'd like you to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell to get notifications of when I do new uploads. If you have any questions, please. Thank you. Have a pleasant day, guys. Thank you for stopping in. Goodbye.